Good morning, internet family. So, sorry for the background noise. I hope you guys can still hear me good. I am at a coffee shop, which is one of my, I don't want to call it a ritual, but it's like when I've got a message to write, I come here and I get me a few shots of espresso and I get really zoned in and get the message done. But I started out my time here reading my devotional, and this is the great thing about devotionals, they're not necessary to have a relationship with God, but it gives you a new insight. And today I really needed what it spoke to me. So I'm going to read one of the scriptures that was posted with it. Romans 8:28. I think we're going to go to 32 or something. So we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to His purpose. For those He foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, so that He would be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. That's us. And those He predestined, He also called. And those He called, He also justified. And those He justified, He also glorified. What then are we to say about these things? If God is for us, who is against us? He did not even spare His own Son, but gave Him up for us all. How will He not also with Him grant us everything? Yeah, it's through 32. So, what the devotion was talking about was prayer. And it actually was talking out of Genesis about when Abraham's servant was looking for a wife. And he found Rebecca. But how did he find Rebecca? He went to the well. And while he was at the well, he prayed that God would send a woman that would not only offer him water, but would offer to give him water for his camels as well. Before he had finished praying, there was a woman there doing exactly that. Okay, so God answered his prayer. But even deeper than that, when did God start answering his prayer? Was it when Rebecca showed up? Because she actually showed up before he finished praying. And for that to be when God answered his prayer, it would have to be more like a coincidence that she was there and God just used her, right? And that's not how God works. So for God answering that prayer, He started, we'll just go back to the morning, that morning when she got up and started her day. Each second of that day led up to that exact moment, and God was working through all of that to get her there in the exact right timing, so that not only would she do what He had prayed, but that it would be a clear answer, that God would clearly speak through the circumstance. And then if you want to go farther back from that, because we go so much farther back than that. We go back to all the days and days and days before that. And then we go back to Rebecca being born in that town, and to the servant going at that exact time, and all these things leading up. And it really honestly goes back generations and generations. So how this spoke so deeply to me today was, I'm praying for so many things right now. I'm praying for healing for somebody who's very close to me, that I'm believing for a miracle healing in his body every single day. I just thank God for that miracle, even though we don't see it yet. And I thank God for the miracle that He's doing, not just in his body, but in the relationships connected to him. And I'm praying for the trip that I'm planning to Uganda, planning entirely on faith. Me and another person we're going. I believe in my heart that we're going. There's no evidence of that though, and I'm praying. So I really should probably stop praying for it and start thanking Him for it. And I know this. Because I believe that that's His will for us. And there's other things going on in my life that I'm praying so hard for, and this is such a good reminder to me, and this is such a good reminder to any of you listening today, that whatever it is you're praying for, He's already heard you. That one was really loud. He's already heard you, not just when you prayed. Not just the first time you prayed the prayer that you've been praying, but He heard you, because God is not limited by time, okay? He heard you generations ago, before you were ever even thought of by your parents, generations ago. He knew the prayer that you would pray. He heard you now, what you're praying now, and already started working things to where your circumstances would be right for Him to answer that prayer. So when He places desires in our hearts, when we come across needs that He already plans to fulfill, and we're praying for them, He's already been working on the answer, really since the garden, since the beginning of time. Every moment of everyone else's life and every moment of the universe around us has been feeding into the answer to our prayer that He has already provided. So as long as we just stay faithful to Him, because He's always faithful to us, as long as we just stay faithful to Him, we can know that the answers are coming. And furthermore, when we don't see an answer, when we don't hear the answer, when we don't see a way, when we don't see the things that we're begging God for, the things that we're believing for coming to fruition, it's not that He's not hearing us. It's that the answer that He knows is best just hasn't happened yet, because He hasn't deemed it best yet. He's already got it working out. It's like, when you cook something, more often than not, if you're actually cooking, it's better to do it on low heat and for it to take a longer amount of time. Stuff, crock pot stuff is just like the best, and chili is best the next day after it's cooked and done, leftovers and stuff, and so on and so forth. So it takes longer sometimes to get the best answer. It takes longer sometimes to get the right answer. Sure, we could rush around and find something that we would call the answer and find a solution and get a immediate fix to whatever we're praying for. But if we're going to wait on God, we're probably going to wait a little while. But it's not because he's not coming yet. It's not because He didn't hear us. It's not because He's putting us off. It's because He's already working the answer to our prayers out in the best way, for the good of those who love God, for the purpose He's already made for us, for the purpose that He's already made for us that benefits not us, because it's not about us, but His kingdom. And what a better place to be than a place where we know that we are serving God so wholeheartedly that, number one, there's not a number, but for one thing, that we are so in tune with Him and so in touch with Him that we know we're in His perfect will, and that because of that, everything that we do is for the kingdom. That we're not even focused on ourselves, that we're focused on the kingdom, and in that we are fulfilled and we are sustained and we are blessed. It's good to know that we are always heard. You guys have a wonderful Saturday. Love you all.